So you may have decluttered your physical environment. You may have decluttered your digital devices, but are you finding that you're still feeling stressed, that you're still on edge all the time? That's because there is a third area that you need to be decluttering, and that is your brain. Mental decluttering is so important. So stay with me today because we're going to dive into 3 reasons why you need to be decluttering mentally. First of all, we'll be asking the question of how decluttering mentally affects your body physically. Number 2, we'll be asking the question, how to recognize mental clutter. And number 3, I'll be giving you 3 good tips, because you know that's how we roll around here, don't you? On how you can start reducing the mental clutter inside your head starting today. Stay tuned. So hey there, welcome back to my channel. My name is Coluccio, aka the Midlife Success Coach, and it is fabulous to have you here. If you're visiting for the first time, make sure to hit subscribe, hit like, leave me a comment, grab my free ebook below. It's wonderful to have you here. If you're returning, you rock. Make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time a brand new video drops. So I'm particularly excited today because I had a delivery in the mail just 2 days ago, and it is here. Ta-da! The brand new book, 21 Hacks to Rock Your Midlife. Release the past, dare to dream, create your legacy. It's here. And I am so excited because I've really poured my heart into this one. It's the culmination of the other 21 Hacks books, but this is the one that really has my heart because I've been working in this midlife space for so long and encouraging other midlifers, particularly women, that they can still choose to rock this season in their life and beyond. So links down below. If you're a New Zealander, you can contact me direct and I'll be able to send you a signed copy of this very book. If you're an international, I've got the links down below so you can grab yours from Amazon. We are ready to rock. And to celebrate this book, we're continuing to work our way through the 21 hacks to rock your midlife. And today we are up to hack number 9. Let's do it. So let's dive into that first question, how mental clutter actually impacts on the body. Now we're doing like an abbreviated version here, but basically your brain is constantly operating under a state of stress. And that's because it's designed to protect us. So it's already absorbing all the information around us at the moment and wondering if that's something that it needs to prime the body to fight against, or if it's something dangerous that we should be running from, hence the fight or flight complex, or if we should be just standing our ground and digging into it. So the brain is constantly analyzing, and there is a constant level of stress that we live with as a result, and that's actually perfectly normal. But the problem is when there's too much clutter going round and round and round in our brain, our body then responds accordingly because the brain is sending out these signals that it's distressed, that there's something fearful out there. And what happens is our body starts to react. And some symptoms of this reaction can be like teeth grinding at night. It can be tension, headaches. It can be fidgety behavior. It can be pacing. It can be leading to greater mental health issues like depression. And disclaimer time here, if you are someone who feels that you are just being weighed down constantly and think you might be getting into that area of having your mental health really affected, please seek out a medical professional. I'm here just giving you tips. I'm not diagnosing. So it's important that we clear the clutter in our brain constantly so that we're not living under this extra stress of the brain thinking that it needs to keep us in this heightened alert state because we're going to be attacked any minute by a caveman or whatever. So it's really, really important to get the mental clutter in our head under control. And I'm going to be giving you 3 tips on that later on. But for now, I want you to have a think. Are there any keys in your behavior that you can see that could be attributed to having stress caused by mental clutter? Drop them in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. So number 2, in our quick race through clearing mental clutter, and of course you can read a whole lot more plus all the action steps in the book, but number 2, how to recognize mental clutter. So it really takes you being fairly self-aware and thinking about what you're thinking about. Now stay with me here. I haven't totally lost it. So have a think about what's constantly playing on your mind. Are you someone who's thinking great, happy, positive things all the time? I'd be actually a little surprised if you were, because no one's life is 100% perfect. However, some people have wired that mental capacity to already pick out the positive. And while there's that concept of toxic positivity where you don't acknowledge reality at all, there is so much to be gained from learning to see the positive, because it helps with that mental clutter and it helps de-escalate that stress that impacts on our body. So what are you thinking about? Are you someone who finds yourself mulling over conversations or disagreements or family issues and just constantly probing at them and thinking at them? It's like, when you've got something wrong with your tooth and your tongue keeps touching at it. You just keep probing at it, even though it's uncomfortable. Whenever you do a presentation or you speak to somebody, you then spend the next day analyzing it and critiquing yourself and poking and prodding, playing it over and over and over in your head. That's clutter. And that's going to keep you in that stressed state. And particularly if you are constantly reinforcing a mistake that you've made, you're already going to be feeling a bit yuck about making that mistake. But if you're constantly probing at it and mulling over it, you're then taking what that old saying says, you're making a mountain from a molehill. So what plays over and over and over in your brain? Again, let me know in the comments. I'd be really interested to hear. Okay, so let's jump into giving you 3 handy quick tips that you can start applying right now to help you manage and suppress that mental clutter so that it's not impacting on your body, your brain, your health, your thinking all the time. Okay, are you ready? Number 1, deep breathing. Now, you're probably going, yeah, what the? How's that going to affect what's in here? The thoughts playing round and round and round, but stay with me. Focusing on your breathing is a brilliant way of calming the body's physiological response where it's getting more and more stressed. Now, think of the times that you've had an overwrought child, like a toddler or a young preschooler, and they're so hyped up that they're gasping for breath, and the thing that they're crying over has become so much bigger, and they've got themselves in such a state. Well, we can do that too with our mental clutter. And what happens is our breathing becomes very shallow, and we start to just use the top part of our lungs, the top part of our chest. Now, I used to be a professional musician, which if you've read the books, I do talk about that. And I played the saxophone. I played that for many, 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 many years. I was on a music scholarship in high school, and then I studied for 4 years at the Conservatorium in Australia. And the very first thing that I was taught by my teacher and that I went on to teach my pupils down the track was to breathe from your diaphragm. You see, when you breathe from your diaphragm, you push that stomach out. It allows space for that diaphragm, which is that muscle underneath the lungs, to push down so that the lungs have room to expand. You expand the rib cage and you're able to breathe and fill the entire area of your lungs. If you ever say to a bunch of children, take a deep breath, they'll all go, and what's happened? Shoulders have come up, which means diaphragm's pulled up, which means they've only actually taken enough breath into the top of their lungs, and they'll be out of air very quickly. So the best way to learn to breathe from your diaphragm is to grab a heavy book. Don't mind me, I'm just a little excited, can you tell? Is to grab a heavy book, lay down on the ground and lay it on your stomach. And as you breathe, laying down on the ground, you'll notice that there's no shoulder movement. Your body will do what it's meant to do, and that book will rise and fall because you're breathing using your diaphragm. Now, if there's a stressful situation and they can feel the brain is whirring and the cogs are going, the best thing to do is what's called a pattern interrupt. So you stop yourself dead in your tracks, remove yourself physically from where you were sitting or standing, find a corner or go into a bathroom on your own and shut your eyes and concentrate on your breathing. Breathing in through the nose, raising your stomach because you're pushing that diaphragm down, and completely filling your whole lungs and counting at least to 7 while you fill up. Then hold it for 7, then let it out. There is no woo-woo magic to this. It is purely calming down your body's physiological reaction to stress. And you need to do that a number of times until you can feel that your heart rate's slowed down, your blood pressure's dropping, all of those physiological actions. They're all calming down. That's when you need to address, what am I thinking about? What is the situation? And ask yourself these questions. Is it something that can be changed? If no, then you need to choose to just leave that behind. No more dwelling on it. Is it something that can be changed? Yes. Then start thinking, how can I address it? What is the first step that I need to do? Because often we get overwhelmed with the multitude of steps we've got to do. What is the first step that you need to do? Then you can return to your place, your workplace, your kitchen, wherever you are, in this calmer state and just focus on that one step ahead of you. Such a simple little thing to do, but you will be amazed at how well calming your breathing causes a ripple effect in the responses in your body, and it lowers that danger alert that your body is operating under. Second tip, this is a nice fun one. Do a brain dump. Get it out of your head. Half the time, the mental clutter is us trying to remember every little thing that we need to do. And when I say every little thing, I'm sure every woman who's ever been a mother knows that it's not just your stuff, it's everyone in the family stuff that you're trying to remember. So do a brain dump, whether you do it once a day or once a week. Get it all out. If you want to be a little bit more methodical about it, do it in groups. All the house-related things here, all the financial-related things here, all of your work-related things here. And then you might have little Johnny's activities for the weeks and little Deborah's and little Karen's, because Karen's the name of the day, isn't it? Do a whopping big brain dump and then just highlight the very first things that you need to be looking at and just focus on them. At least your brain will be able to de-escalate the body because it knows that you've got these things now. The brain doesn't have to remember them. You've actually got them on a list. You've gotten them out of the head, and your body can calm and you can focus on the task at hand. Tip number 3, make sure that you make time every single day for prayer or meditation. That time is going to help you get centered, basically. That sounds woo-woo, gosh, but it just means kind of just calm down and focus on the things that are important in your life. So for me, that's reading scripture. That's taking time to pray for my family, to pray for the things in my life, to pray for those things that are bothering me. And my giving them to God actually helps decrease that physiological stress response in my body. So make that time every single day for you to calm yourself down. You'll be amazed at how it sets you up for an incredible day where the stress levels are lower, where your blood pressure's down, where you're not hyperventilating because you're breathing so rapidly, where your body is primed to focus and do the work that you want it to do. So there you go. Why you need to declutter that mental clutter and some tips on how to do it. Please leave me some comments. Let me know if you had any aha moments or if anything particular stood out for you. Make sure to go below, grab my free ebook, Your Core Values. You can't create an incredible life of purpose if you don't know what your core values are. They are the foundation to everything that you do. In fact, they're almost like the prequel to this book. Stay tuned. I'll see you tomorrow for hack number 10.